Hello. This is insane. I was not expecting this. Hi, my name is Anne. I run the Team Ancilla channel, and odds are you came here from a video I made in 2021 that just got really popular out of the blue. A lot of people were in the comments asking what's going on with the game, if it's still happening, and really just is it even going to happen? Well, Branching Sickness, the game I covered, is still happening, and the devs are eager for me to make a new video. And to that I say, let's do it! If you are new here and haven't seen the first video, that's fine. I'll get you up to speed. Branching Sickness is a fan-made Halo game surrounding the Flood and a Marine's efforts to survive it. Since I last made that video, a lot has changed with the game. I should make some things clear. 1. To my knowledge, Branching Sickness has taken the time to ensure it follows the guidelines set by Microsoft in 343, which allows fan games to be made so long as it is not for profit. 2. I am not a member of the developer team. I am making a video covering their game with permission, but I am not a part of the team. There will be a link to the Branching Sickness Discord, and of course there will be links for every member of the Branching Sickness team. Everyone gets credit. Please consider supporting them. And if you have talents you want to share with the world, the team is always accepting applications. Finally, a big thank you to the project lead Sadera for giving me a peek behind the scenes. Now, with all that in mind, let's get right into it. Let's start with a statement by Sadera, the project lead of Branching Sickness, as this will help set the stage for what I shall cover. Hi everyone, we've had a recent influx of members into the Discord lately, and I wanted to speak on a few things because from my understanding, most of the new people are here because of a video that was posted over a year ago. Since that video was made, a lot of change has happened behind the scenes in a lot of the major systems of Branching Sickness. Most notably, a fully fledged commitment to tear down our existing systems and replace them with systems that could easily be replicated over the internet and that could support online cooperative play. For those interested in Unreal Engine game development, those systems are listed below. The Game Playability System for replicating player, VFX, and AI actions in-game. Epic Online Services using the Epic Online subsystem for supporting online party systems that feel familiar to the commercial Halo games, including parties up to 4 players, online voice chat, working friend systems, etc. And Common UI for making a front-end UI that is both responsive and flexible. The teardown and rebuilding of the old systems in favor of these new ones began in January of 2023. As of now, I am still pushing for the team to begin internal playtesting, not against AI, but against each other. Note there will not be PvP in the final version of Branching Sickness, sometime in November. The goal of this playtesting is to ensure an online experience that is smooth and as close to a professional level as indie fan developers with a $0 budget can hope to attain. Once I feel we have nailed this, the team intends to open up the Armory, a firing range style level that will be the first public-facing build of Branching Sickness. We will use this small slice to get feedback on movement, weapons, UI, animation, and other minor things as we develop AI and our 2 core game modes, to be discussed down the line. A critical point that I feel I need to stress, almost everyone on the development team is either working full-time or going to school full-time. Additionally, aside for a few members, this is not a team that is comprised of quote-unquote seasoned game developers that just wanted to make a game for fun. Branching Sickness is being developed mostly by those passionate about Halo, but also relatively green to game development. That being said, every member of the Branching Sickness team works hard to set a high-quality bar. All of this means that if the game is not performing well or if the game is not fun, we will not put it out. It also means that quality work will just take time. For those joining the Discord hoping to get your hands on something in the coming weeks, or even possibly the coming months, you may be disappointed. Given enough time, however, I truly feel we have the talent here to take the gaming world by storm, and we couldn't be more excited to have you along for the ride. How can I help? This game is being completely developed by passionate volunteers. If you know anyone that may be able or interested in helping us continue to make this game awesome, shoot them the link in team application, so on their Discord. Promote our social media, primarily our Twitter/X page. Being able to reach more people helps us find more people, which in turn helps us develop more efficiently and quickly. So, follow their Twitter. And of course, follow the rules. In other words, follow the rules of their Discord. Modding a Discord is like the very last thing I want to do after work, plus while working on the game. Please don't make my life hell. Mood. That's all I have for now. If I see more questions pop up about a particular subject, I might make another post. Otherwise, it's back to work for me. I hope you all have a great night / rest of their week. Sidera. So, in short, what does that mean? Well, for starters, the Branching Sickness team is devoted to delivering a high-quality experience, the best that they can possibly hope to do. Bear in mind, this game has no budget because it cannot take money without, any legal troubles. As such, members of the Branching Sickness team are reliant on other sources of income, their jobs, commissions, etc. So this means progress is slow, but the game is always moving forwards. When they are able, the team will open up an armory, which will be open to the public. A lot of what the team has been doing is dedicated to a fluid and satisfying online experience, as you will be able to play with friends. And I want to emphasize something, because they had to emphasize it, there will not be any player versus player stuff in the final build. That is not the goal of this game. You are a Marine, or Marines, surviving against hordes of the galaxy's most dangerous entity. Now, as for the more technical things, I will leave that to the devs to explain, but I will get into some of the other juicy stuff right now. Let's start with the Parasite, because we've got a few renders of the flood forms we'll be seeing. So bear in mind, all of this is a work in progress. Not everything is final. Some things may change, may be removed, may be reworked, things like that. In other words, what I am showing you, they're just concepts. And of course, the models are always being worked on. Also, a big thank you to Vorkt for talking with me about these renders. Let's start off with the infection forms. This little guy hasn't changed much, but he now has a friend, the Cedar. The Cedar, if added, will fly around in large groups. They are easy to kill, but they are very agile and can be problematic. Now you have to worry about infection from above and below. Next up, we have the Ranger. This dude will be familiar if you played Halo 3, as it is similar to some of the peer forms. The Ranger would act as a ranged unit, firing bone fragments like an assault rifle. Next up, we have an old render of the Rusher, and then there is the Spitter. The Rusher will use its giant feeler to seek out a player who's attempting to hide. When it finds that player, it will then rush towards them and perform melee attacks. Its variant, the Spitter, is different. It runs around the map and vomits bile, turning entire areas into hazardous locations that hurts a player when they step in said bile. When needed, it could also function as a short to medium range attacker. It also has holes in its front legs that would splash around it as a melee attack. Oh, and an old friend is making a return. The Goliath has been redesigned, and take a look at it. It's big. It's mean, it's dangerous, and it has a few attacks. Aside from beating the shit out of you, it has a bone spike where the mouth tentacle retracts from, and it has some mid-range attacks that it will wind up. This powerfully posed dude is the Grabber. Originally, it was supposed to grab a hold of the player and puff spores in their face, but generally they now exist as a walking spore hive, meant to create dangerous zones where the players gotta slow down. Now comes the Bomber. Vorkt described it as semi-intelligent. It will avoid the player as it doesn't want to get hurt. It will fly around and spit out blasts of bile that vary in size. There is also the Burster, but this model is not going to be used. There's going to be another one in all likelihood, should the Burster make it into the game. It basically flies around, but I'm not sure what it does, but based on the name, it probably explodes. Here we have an Abomination. We actually saw these guys in Halo Wars 2, so it's nice to see them making an appearance. This one, however, this is by far my favorite, the Thrasher. He runs around the map and channels his inner gamer by just blindly charging the player, Leroy Jenkins style. Flood forms and players will both be sent flying. Just imagine, there's a handful of infection worms running down a hall towards you, and then this giant thing just rounds a corner, flattens all of them, and rams into you. There were plans to get the Thrasher to stun itself by running into walls so the player could have a moment to hit them. Also, I have been informed by Vorkt that the Grabber is their favorite. I mean, how can you not look? Just look at this man. How can you not like him? Look at him! He does tricks! Look at him! He's great! And finally, for those of you that like cut Halo 2 content, you have the Juggernaut. When I asked Forked about it, the reply I got was, and I quote, "Giant mean man who can birth out flood forms from his big mouth. Powerful attacks, high leaps, large wind-up swings that can hit large areas." So, hell yeah, we're getting the Juggernaut. There are other forms, but for now, we're gonna move on. In order to stand a chance in hell at surviving the parasite, you're going to need something to fight it with. That's where the weapons come into play. You are a Marine from the Spirit of Fire just simply trying to survive in the depths of a tainted Forerunner facility. So what do you got? Well, everything is subject to change, but here is what you can use, or at least what you will probably be able to use. Starting us off with what looks to be my favorite weapon so far, because I am an ODST fan, the M7 submachine gun. It appears that the game will have two variants, the traditional M7 that you can find in Halo 2 and 3, and the M7S from Halo 3 ODST. The standard M7 has iron sights and a typical short barrel. The M7S, on the other hand, has what looks to be an SLS V5B SmartLink scope, an SSM49 suppressor, and an underbarrel flashlight. Here are some animations for it, and just look at that. Sorry, I just like them a lot. The love put into it is incredible. And it seems that the team is either updating the model or making a new one, as they dropped a tease for it a few days ago as of recording this. So look out for that on their Twitter and Discord. Going back to the animations, we also get to see the HUD, which hasn't changed terribly much. It has a radar, a compass, what appears to be a health bar, and there is also the outline of the mask, which is always a cool detail. Next up, the BR-55, or the battle rifle. It is very reminiscent of the Halo 3 model, but with elements of Halo 2 Anniversary, which I just love. Here are some of its animations while we're at it. Also, we're getting a tiny little glimpse of the player model here. It looks great. Here's another render of the shiny pew pew. Next up, the plasma rifle. We got a couple things for this one as well. Here is a render of the weapon. Looks cool. Here are some of its animations too. It's also looking pretty damn cool. Honestly, cool. I can just used to describe this whole damn game so far. Cool. I will say, I'm kind of reminded of the Halo 2 Anniversary models when I see this. Now, we can't forget the grenades. There's some frag grenades, plasma grenades, all of them look great. Cannot wait to see them animated. We know the M6G Magnum will make an appearance in the game, or at the very least we've seen a render of it in the past, but here is an M6C, the Magnum we see in Halo 2. There is also, of course, the shotgun. This is a pretty interesting take on it. If we inspect the model, it says 8-gauge Super Magnum, so that is going to be neat as all hell to see where it goes. I wonder how it will play compared to the traditional shotgun. Here is an animation of it and a glimpse at some pelicans. Here's a render of the plasma pistol, and honestly, I just want to take a moment to address how much passion has been put into these models. Every weapon has so many details that you honestly wouldn't even notice unless you were looking close enough. Individual icons, scuffs on the paint, individual shapes and features. And of course, we have the energy sword. Here is one of its animations, and here's a picture of it being held by the player. And of course, another nice glimpse of the player model once again. Speaking of the player model, here he is. This is Noah, a veteran from the Harvest campaign. You will be playing as him when the game arrives. This little piece of music is called Lone Ranger Above Hell. You can listen to the rest of this song on the Branching Sickness YouTube channel. Also, I would like to once again recommend that you check out the Branching Sickness Discord. It's a neat spot to hang. Now, the art. Here are two pieces of concept art that was shared with me that look stunning. As an artist myself, I only have one request. More! Give me more, please! It is so good. In this first piece, we can see a lot. Flood forms, the tunnels of a Forerunner facility, 4 players, and of course, their weapons. There's an M7S, an energy sword, a flamethrower, and what looks to be a Forerunner weapon. I'm kind of reminded of the rifles used by warrior servants. It almost seems like a combination of Halo 4's Promethean weapons and some of the early Bungie era concepts. I don't know if it will make it into the game, but I hope it does. How about the second? Well, the environment is mwah, chef's kiss. I can definitely see bits of Requiem in the Forerunner architecture, and in the distance there appears to be a structure built into the mountain. I wonder if that's where we're headed for the game. How about the interior? Well, we have this fun little screenshot that was sent to me. I'm reminded of the Halo 3 Forerunner architecture, very matte and brutalist. In this tiny snippet, we can see an environment that is still under development, but honestly, I'm excited to see where things go from there. I'm always a sucker for pillars. No, seriously, I love architecture. And there was a little tidbit of gameplay that was given to us. Just a few seconds, but it has me excited to play this game. Branching Sickness is a work in progress. There's a lot to do, and it is far from complete, but that's okay. The devs are pouring their hearts and souls into this game, and I'm excited to one day play it. There isn't a release date, but I can assure you they are rigorously testing things out, and when they are ready, they will release a build where players can try out some of the equipment. Honestly, I can't help but say it. I'm excited. I'm hyped. I know hype is like the killer of all good things, but I am hyped! What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and of course the Branching Sickness Discord is open for business, so go check it out. The dev team is credited below, and I also have my own link tree that can take you to my Discord, Patreon, Twitter, etc. if you want to support me. I will see you in the cosmos, friends.